Apple announcing plans for a new campus in Austin, Texas. The tech giant is investing $1 billion into the self-anointed live music capital of the world and promises to create as many as 15,000 new jobs there.
Joining us to discuss what's behind the move is Ed Lee, CNBC contributor from the New York Times. Hey, Ed, I guess there's a lot of things happening here, right? Apple's a big company, needs a lot of people, has already had some presence in Austin, and of course is on the record saying it's going to invest a lot in the U.S. and create a bunch of new jobs. So how do we fit this all together?
So I think you're right. I think the larger context, of course, is, like with everything in business these days, is the Trump administration. I mean, he's been pressuring Apple to bring jobs back to the U.S. or at least to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. That's actually not going to happen. This deal, what they announced here, they're adding about 15,000, new jobs. It's really great. I think it's going to be 5,000 to start. None of these are manufacturing jobs. These are engineers, these are executives, these are service people. And that's really the direction that the U.S. economy has been taking anyway. It's technology, it's IP, it's creative stuff, it's services. And I think that's the future, where the future is going. So that's a larger context. So it's both a nod and a jab, I guess you want to say, to the Trump administration. Certainly good for the U.S. economy anyway, but it's not going to move the needle a ton either for Apple or in a lot of ways for, the broader landscape of the U.S. economy in terms of manufacturing, at least. It's good for Austin, but that's the context. That's what you have to consider here.
Ed, it's interesting we get this news from Apple just 24 hours after you had, lawmakers here locally in New York City grilling Amazon about its decision and the benefits it's getting for putting its HQ2, or one of them, I should say, here in New York City. How would you compare how both of these companies have been basically navigating those local communities?
No, it's a great point. It's a really interesting contrast because Amazon sort of did this beauty contest, right, all across North America, and everyone sort of knocking down their door and giving them billions of dollars in subsidies. Apple did this entirely under the radar. You kind of barely knew that they were looking for. They said that they were going to invest about $30 billion into the U.S. We didn't know what form that was going to take. Here's a little chunk of that, certainly, but it's a sharp contrast. Of course, Apple had so much cash, had so much money to begin with. I think they were, they had sort of the luxury to sort of take their time and do it quietly. Didn't need a ton of subsidies. From early reporting, it looks like at least with Austin, they're getting maybe 20 million plus in some tax subsidies across a few, maybe 10 or 15 years. So it's not, they're getting something back certainly, but not a ton. Not like what Amazon is getting in New York, and it is a sharp contrast. But again, I think it speaks to different needs. So much of Apple's manufacturing, so much of its base is in Asia. In the U.S., I think it's more about services, and I think that's where the Trump administration, or any administration really, could put more pressure on it. A more nuanced way into it would be, you need to open up your app store a little bit more, that kind of thing.